thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel today. I'm Father Steve Sellers, and this is my brief daily message of hope and inspiration. And as always, I hope you are having a wonderful day so far, even amidst all the confusion and turmoil and sadness and fear that's spreading around the world. God still is in charge. And I hope that you're able to tune into His frequency today and tune out the frequencies of fear that seem to be dominating. God is in charge. And you know, that message was made very clear to me this morning. So many people during the midst of this virus scare have been looking for some sort of sign from the Lord that indicates that He still is in charge. And you know what? Several of my buddies in the priesthood have discovered something that many in the church have known for a long time, but those of us here in the Western world, our memory isn't quite as long as our brothers and sisters in other parts of the Christian world. We in the United States only go back so many hundreds of years. The church goes back 2,000 years in parts of the world, and especially in the Mideast, where the story has come out that God has given us His sign very clearly in this pandemic that is causing such amazing changes in our society and movements of people and stationary orders to stay in place and not travel, whatever. God has spoken in this. God will always get the last word in this, and He has. Did you know that the Catholic Church has a saint set aside for pandemics? And yes, the Church does. This story of this particular saint has been making the rounds this morning. She was a 16-year-old girl, probably married. She lived in the 2nd century. The story of her is that she was a young Christian woman of deep prayer. And this may have been in Syria. It could have been in Antioch or Damascus. There's several versions of this story about this incredible saint who is now speaking to us with her prayers during this global pandemic. This young girl found that there was a Roman soldier by the name of Victor. Victor had been accused of being a Christian, and he was. And word got to the Roman government and to a particular judge by the name of Sebastian, who called Victor in, put him on trial for being a Christian, gave him an opportunity to renounce his Christian faith, which Victor did not, and so he was being brutalized prior to being put to death. This young 16-year-old girl found out about Victor, and she too was a Christian, and she decided that God was calling her to help Victor, this the Roman soldier who is about to be executed. And so she not only prayed for him, but she announced her own Christianity, and she too was arrested so that she could get to be where Victor was and let him know that she was interceding and praying for him. And indeed, this young girl, according to the story that's been preserved in the Eastern Church, she lost her life for that too. She was martyred as she was praying for Victor. And now Victor and this young 16-year-old girl who were martyred are both in the same basilica in northern Italy. The relics of their lives, what was left of them after their execution. And they've been in this particular basilica for about 1,000 years. And this young girl, she's 16, died at 16, giving up her life for her faith and for a man she didn't even really know well, a Roman soldier who was put to death. And God has spoken clearly through this. And this is the punchline to the whole story and the truth and the bottom line to the whole story. This young girl's name is Saint Corona. Corona. Imagine that. Imagine that there is a saint in the church who is one of the patronesses in times of pandemic, and her name is Saint Corona. So at my Mass this morning at Our Lady of Mount Carmel, we invoked the prayers of Saint Corona for us in this country as we're going through this virus. Please know that her prayers are for you today too. Our prayers are for you. We need to pray for each other and lift up your hearts. God is already in charge of this. And once again, we see that God has taken care to preserve his people, even with a saint by the name of Corona. May you have a blessed day today. God bless you.